dimming your light and losing yourself in relationships, so that when you lose yourself in a relationship or you dim your light in a relationship, you're never going to win. You've already lost. And I want to talk a little bit more about that because I have been in relationships where I have compromised myself or made myself appear to be less than I am so that the other person felt better about who they are. And that never is a winning situation for you or for the other person in a relationship. It just really causes you, well, three things that I want to point out tonight is that, first of all, well, four things. First of all, as I said in the post, is that you can never, ever keep somebody who doesn't want to be kept. If they don't want to be in relationship with you, you can't force people to be in relationship with you. No matter if you try to dim yourself, if you try to compromise yourself, if you try to make them love you, want you, stay with you, it's not possible to do. If they don't want to be in the relationship with you, then they won't be in the relationship with you. I remember in high school that I used to say things like that, like, you can't keep somebody who doesn't want to be kept. And I don't even know how I fully came to understand that. Maybe it was because of a relationship that I had or situations that my friends were in, but I just kind of had this understanding that you can't keep people who don't want to be kept. If they want to be in relationship with you, then they will be in relationship with you, but not because you force them to be in relationship with you, but because they want to share and engage with you. But compromising yourself and dimming your light and not showing up for yourself in relationships is detrimental for a few reasons. One, and I have notes here, so I'm looking at those. You cower down in that relationship. By that, I mean that you don't really show up for yourself in the relationship. If you're putting your light under a bag and you're not shining as brightly as you can, which means you don't do the very best that you can, you don't say the things that you really can or should say that can help that other person to grow or to thrive in that relationship, then you're not being authentic. It's almost like it reminds me of The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. And I know that's an old movie, but that's okay. You can go with me if you can. In the movie The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, there was a husband and wife. The husband had an affair with a woman. And in that relationship, right, it was the woman who he had the affair with, like, she was crazy, right? Bat crazy, super, super crazy. Had this relationship with her. She's rocking in a corner like a crackhead, just rocking and crying and rocking and crying and a knife in her hand. Hey, Shaw. Who else joined? KK Seattle and Buck Yuck. Hey, welcome, welcome. And so she's rocking like a crackhead in the corner in this movie, and she was losing it with a knife in her hand and all of that. She had no control over herself, right? So she lost it because she wanted this relationship, and she couldn't have it. She did everything that she could to try to have the relationship, stole the baby, all the things. But the fact of the matter is, if he were going to be in that relationship with her, then he would have divorced his wife and been in that relationship with her. But she could not do anything, no matter what she tried to do to keep him or to get him or to keep him in that relationship. And it doesn't work that way. When you don't show up for yourself and you don't give your best self in relationships, it's not other people don't get an opportunity to grow. They don't get to see you. So the fact of the matter is that iron sharpens iron, right? And that idea means that if I'm strong and I'm sharp and I'm smart and I'm giving you my very best, then that's going to help you to grow and be your best. And likewise, it works both ways. I remember a long time ago, one of my friends, who he's gone to be with the Lord now, but he used to say, you can be difficult to deal with. And I never really thought that about myself. But he said, two things are going to happen with people who are in a relationship with you. They're either going to come up to the level or they're going to bounce because they're not going to deal with that. And so, so I encourage people to grow in relationships. I want the best from people. So I draw a lot out of people, like for them to be their best self, like, really challenging themselves, like looking for vision, trying to pursue purpose, all that kind of stuff. So people who are around me, they get that from me. And if they're not ready for that or they can't handle that, he was saying that they're going to leave. They're not going to stay. Hi, Maria. Thanks for joining. Who was that? Life Fred. Thanks for joining. And so the fact of the matter is, I didn't know that about myself. until he made me aware of that. And I'm like, okay, so I really am showing up for myself in this relationship, but that helped him to be his best self, right? So he started pursuing his own vision, his purpose. He accepted Christ. He became a minister of the gospel, like all those things, partly because of his relationship and interaction with me at my best self. So never dim your light or try to shy away from being your best self or cowering down from challenges or being your best in a relationship. If you're not authentic, then who do the people get to interact with? Like, we're in relationship with one another so that we can get to know the most authentic part of it. I want the best from you, and I want to give you my best in any relationship, friendships, dating relationships, and otherwise. I can't do that if I'm intimidated or if I'm afraid that I'm going to lose you, so I don't stay because I'm afraid that you're going to leave. You're not going to, you're not going to stay around with me or whatever. But I'm losing in that relationship anytime I'm in a job or a career or any kind of dating relationship or friendship relationship where I can't be myself, like my real self. And if you're intimidated by me, if you're intimidated by my voice, if you're intimidated by my passion, or you're intimidated by the way I make people laugh or why people are attracted to me, or you're intimidated by how smart people are, whatever it is that makes you intimidated by them or makes you feel less than, then that's a personal issue that you have to address. That's not the other person's issue in their relationship. Another thing is that not dimming your light in a relationship is really deceitful, because who are you really? Like, if I don't get to know you as you really are, then who do I know? Like, it's like sleeping with the enemy. I don't know. I know this is an old movie. Hey, Jason, thanks for joining. Hi, Lydia. It's like, who do I know? It's like sleeping with the enemy, because I don't really get to see you in your full self. So who are you? And so, we can be deceived in relationships, especially when people are, first of all, people are online dating and that kind of stuff. People can hide behind online, messaging, what they say. I mean, at this point, avatars are taking over job interviews and doing all kinds of craziness, right? So we even have that now. But people can hide behind a camera. They can hide behind text messaging. But when I'm talking to you and interacting with you face to face, I want to see who you really are. Otherwise, I'm deceived. I think I'm getting to know someone and I really don't know who you are, because you're not being yourself. You're trying to be, either they're being someone else intentionally because they want to deceive you, manipulate you, or get something from you, or they're not confident in themselves because they're afraid of maybe you leaving them, or they're going to lose you, or that they're not good enough. All of those are issues that people need to deal with themselves, because that's not my problem. That's your problem. I had a friend one time who was really, really, really ahead of me. I thought he was. And like, he was highly educated, and he was just very brilliant. 1,600 SAT scores, just bright. And I was like, man, I used to sit on the phone with a dictionary just to have a conversation with the dude. I wasn't on his level. I didn't think that I was. And I remember one day he said, I never made you feel that way, or I never told you that, or anything like that. But I felt that way myself. And so I tried to be my best self, but I compared myself to him. So I did dim my light. But in that relationship, as it progressed, and I thought that I was being my best self, then who I really was, he didn't know. And he was surprised as I began to evolve and open up those parts of me. It wasn't fair to him in that relationship for him not to know me for who I was. It was deceitful. It's like you're wearing a mask, but I see you every day, or I talk to you every day, and you've got auto-tune on your voice. So who am I talking to? And I don't see you because you cover your mask. So we got to be really authentic in relationships and be confident in yourself. Find someone, or be found by someone, who is not intimidated by your shine, not intimidated by how brilliant and bright your light is. Like, you are the whole sun. So let them get a pair of sunglasses that, will help them to see you for who you are. I can't look at the sun without my glasses, but if I put on sunglasses, then I can look at you and see you for who you are and value you. Then we can do something. But if you can't see me and value me and appreciate me, understand me and receive from me, then what kind of relationship or friendship can we really have? Because we have to respect one another's shine and support one another's shine and help one another to grow and to thrive. That's what relationships are really about. We're not in it just for ourselves. We're in it so we can grow with one another. Sometimes parents will dim their light so that their children can feel like they can do something. Like, parents will say, oh, you can do it. Now, I know you let your kids win the game, right? They beat you, like, oh, you won. Sometimes they really be beaten. Sometimes, because sometimes you really do beat your parents. Sometimes your parents let you win. So they dim their light for their children to shine. That motivates them. That gives them courage and confidence. It helps to boost their self-esteem, and and that's good. That's healthy. But in your relationships, friendships, dating relationships, not so much. No, not so much. What else do I have here? So people don't get to grow from you when you're not being authentic. You are also, it's deceitful and dishonest not to show up as yourself. I mean, like, if you know who you are and you're being your authentic self and you don't show up like that, then people don't get to know you. So don't lose yourself in a relationship. I have seen women shrink, like particularly women. Men don't do this so much, but women will shrink in relationships to be accepted by a man, to be accepted by their friends because they have a man. Or, like to be accepted by the man's family and that kind of thing. And it's like, girl, why are you shrinking yourself to be accepted by this man? Why are you shrinking yourself to be smaller than you are? Why? It's an insecurity? What is that? Is it lack of confidence? Fear that he's going to leave you? Well, the fact of the matter is this: if he leaves you because you are being your authentic self, like you're really being really who you are, then he ain't the one. Is he? No, he can't stand in your light. If people can't stand in your light while you shining, like, okay, and they celebrate you and cheer you on, like they're your crew, those are your people, okay, they're not the one. And that's okay. So we have to get to the place where we can accept, first of all, cheer yourself on. Like, be in your own corner, be your own cheerleading squad, right? For yourself. Pat yourself on the back. And know that God is with you. If God is before you, then nobody can be against you. The world, who can be against you, right? So you support yourself and know that God is with you, and then keep it pushing and keep it pushing. We compromise in relationships so much, and really for various reasons. But just learn. I want to encourage you to learn, to love yourself, appreciate who you are, show up as yourself in your relationships. People need you. The world doesn't need fake. We need the real. We don't have time for fake. We don't. You see what's happening in the world all around us. There's a lot of fake stuff going on. Like I said, AI is like crazy at this game. I mean, it's good, but it's also disadvantageous to us. But we're smart and we're sharp, so we got to get up in the morning and don't let those things take us over. Show up in your relationships. Be who you really are. If you're not sure who you are, then connect with me. Send me a DM so we can work together, so I can help you discover who you are authentically. And so you can walk in that. Relationships and people, we need you. Your children need you to be real. Your boss needs you to be real. Customers need you to be real. The world needs you to be real. You weren't created to be. You were not created to fit in. You were created to stand out. And you stand out by being authentic, purposed, not hiding your light so that people don't see your shine, because your shine is bright. Now, don't go up in that girl's wedding and you don't go up in that girl's wedding and outshine the bride. Don't do that. Now, don't do that. I ain't saying that. Like, you pressure, but don't go up in that girl's wedding outshining the bride. That's not cool. But what I'm saying is, be yourself authentically. Value yourself. Understand what you bring to the table and bring it every time you come to the table. You say, I don't bring china. I don't bring styrofoam plates to the dinner table if we're going to come and have a meal together. I'm bringing china and silver, not plasticware, silver to the table, glassware, the finest, right? Because that's who you are. And don't let other people intimidate you into staying in a relationship with them and you lose yourself. That's not fair to you, that you cower down and that you hide yourself for other people to feel better about who they are. No, people got to be confident in themselves in that relationship with or without you. So no, you don't cower down and not show up as yourself, your powerful, bold self in that relationship so they can feel better about themselves. No, it's 2025. Well, you might be young, so it doesn't matter if it's 2025 or not, but it is 2025. And you can walk in your authentic self, and you can be purposed in this life. You can make purposeful decisions in your life. You can choose to set boundaries for your life and say, I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody who doesn't respect me. I'm not going to be in a relationship with somebody who doesn't respect my boundaries, who doesn't accept my brilliance and the brightness of my shine every day. I've met some amazing people who are, they killing the game in life. Killing the game. And I think about their relationships. Brilliant, bright people. And they have high IQ. Sometimes they have a low EQ. You guys know the emotional quotient. A low EQ, a high IQ, and they're in a relationship with somebody that is destroying them from the inside. Crazy. And they're not showing up as themselves because the person who they're in a relationship with squats on them, sits on them, foot on neck, right? Knee on the neck, bondage about being who they are. Sometimes you'll be in a relationship and they'll come at you, like talk about you, disrespect you, argue with you, talking about you, calling you names and all this stuff, trying to diminish your light because they're intimidated because the light is so bright. They can't handle it. Or sometimes it's because you're a reflection. You are a mirror reflecting back to them their inadequacies. Oh, baby. People who are insecure, they can't handle that. And they will try to cut you down to pieces to make it seem like you don't have it. But baby, you got it. You're pressure. You have the juice. Show up authentically. Love yourself. Let your light so shine in the earth that men will see your God and worship him in heaven. Let your light shine. We're not diminishing our lights in 2025. We're not diminishing ourselves in relationships and compromising and coming back 10 years later with 5 kids and hating yourself and have wasted all that time in a relationship because you weren't sure. I'm telling you today, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You don't owe that to anyone to diminish yourself. Be great. It's who you are. Be great. It's who you are. Be amazing because that's who you are. Be amazing because that's who you are. You're brilliant. You're beautiful. You're amazing. You're creative. You're passionate. You're a go-getter. Be that because that's who you are. Show up as that person every day and in every relationship. Is anybody in the room with me? You guys have joined, but nobody said anything. Sure, I'm not sure if you're still here. She may not be. I'm doing good. All right. I just wanted to come in and share that with you guys tonight. It's great to see you. All right. I'll be back on again tomorrow. See you soon. Bye-bye.